Hi, everyone. Welcome back from lunch. I hope that you enjoyed the break and got to reconnect with familiar faces and maybe perhaps make some new connections as well. We're going to be kicking off this afternoon's content by leading with a presentation from eMarketer's senior analyst, Max Willens. He recently published some research on affiliate marketing in the new normal in 2022. And so today he's going to be sharing some of his bits of research in a presentation today. And with that, I would love to welcome Max to the stage. Max, come on up.
Hi, everybody. It's been a minute since I've done this, so thank you all for being here and paying attention. I hope you all enjoyed lunch and that you saved some room for charts and numbers because we have a bunch of them coming. As Maura mentioned, I recently wrote a report on the affiliate space. It's not the first time eMarketer's ever covered affiliate, but it's the first time in a minute. So just to kind of highlight what we're going to be looking at here. Very first, we're going to start with just the $64,000 question of how big the space is, what might happen to it. We're also going to compare the affiliate space to some other digital channels, which are in some ways complementary, in some ways in competition with, and also I think signal sort of a lot about what might happen to affiliate. We're going to kind of look under the hood at what the numbers, what's driving those numbers, sort of current characteristics of the affiliate market. And then if you've got questions, you can ask them of me. There are mic runners apparently. There are folks tuning in online. You can submit them virtually as well. So that's what we're going to do. So let's start doing it. I guess we're going to start with the $64,000 question first. That's how big is affiliate marketing right now? So I'm going to begin, before I give you the answer to that question, I'm going to caveat my answer and say that this is my own personal prediction. Our forecasting team did not look at this. The affiliate marketing system, as you know, is very closed. It's hard to sort of find abundant information about how big it is across the board. So this is my own estimate. It is, I think, a conservative estimate, but I'll sort of show my work in a second. So, drum roll please, the affiliate marketing ecosystem in 2022 is worth $10 billion. That's a round number, but again, it's a conservative number, and I'm gonna, as I mentioned, walk through how I arrived to it. To do that, I'm gonna sort of go back in time a little bit and walk through some past looks at the affiliate marketing economy. First, we'll go to the year 2018. The internet is filled with the LeBron James yelling at J.R. Smith meme. The young people of the day are eating Tide Pods for some reason. And the affiliate marketing ecosystem is worth $6.2 billion. That is according to PricewaterhouseCoopers and the PMA, who endeavored for the first time in many years to come up with a size for the industry. That number was within shouting distance of research that had been done a couple years previously by Forrester in partnership with Rakuten. They believed that the industry was a little bigger than $5.9 billion, and they also presumed something that I think is very important, which is that the affiliate marketing ecosystem at the time was growing at about 10% a year. They presumed that that was going to continue through 2020, eventually getting to a place where the affiliate marketing ecosystem would be north of $7 billion by 2021. So we fast forward to 2021. Again, the internet is laughing about a shipping vessel that is stuck in the Suez Canal. The young people on the internet are telling the old people on the internet how to pronounce the word shuji and use it in a sentence. And the affiliate marketing ecosystem is worth $9.1 billion. As you guys know from me saying it 30 seconds ago, that's way ahead of the expectations that you might have had if you had been following the Forrester numbers and the kind of conceived wisdom about affiliate, which is that it grows about 10% a year. So, in fact, if you are doing the arithmetic yourself, that's 46% growth over a 3-year period. And it's driven, as I'm sure you all know, in many respects by the turbulence that the economy had gone through, this sort of like holy holy crap, what's going on moment that changed a lot about how we shop, how we behave, what we do with our time. And it also sort of validates something that has been kind of conventional wisdom for the affiliate ecosystem, which is that it does very well in times of economic turbulence, which is a theme that we're going to kind of continue on and discuss at more length later. So this again brings me to my own number, which, if you're presuming 10% growth, which I think again is conservative because of the fact that we are kind of on the precipice of a period of, I would say, prolonged economic uncertainty and a lot of inflation and kind of economic anxiety among consumers. The 10 billion feels conservative, but conservative doesn't get you fired, so 10 billion in 2022. The other thing to sort of, at the risk of oversimplifying things, the big reason that the affiliate marketing ecosystem so healthily and handily outperformed the expectations that lots in the industry had is because of advanced and growth in e-commerce activity in the United States. This is a forecast that my colleagues put together and published this summer. This shows how quickly and how healthily e-commerce activity has been growing in the United States over the last 5 years. It should not shock you to hear that those numbers keep going up quite healthily in the years to come. But just that great big orange leap in 2020 caused, obviously, by people sheltering in place, by the government sending out tons of stimulus checks, drove massive, massive increases in consumer e-commerce activity. It's important to point out, too, that this growth is much higher than affiliate was. This is about 85% growth between 2018 and 2021. I should also point out that this is not purely organic either. Obviously, there is a significant growth in e-commerce ad spending overall, so tons more money spent on ads on Amazon, ads on Google, lots and lots of ad spending meant to drive this e-commerce transaction. So, again, as I was saying earlier, the e-com boom that happened 2 years ago and continues today was a rising tide that lifted all boats, but it lifted some boats higher than others. So this is a look at what happened to the retail media ad spending. It doesn't go back exactly to 2018. Our researchers did not start looking at retail media until 2019, which is why the chart begins there. But I think if you do kind of some back of the napkin math, you could say that retail media probably tripled over the period that we're discussing, because a lot of that number is Amazon ad spending, about 75% of it, to be precise. And again, here you're seeing massive, massive growth. And I'm going to discuss this a little bit more in some more depth later, but I think the growth of retail media ad spending is actually a big opportunity and a big positive sign for the affiliate marketing ecosystem. Again, we'll hold that thought. Looking at one other area that benefited really handsomely during this period, we have influencer ad spending. So this is, again, you could probably make the argument that that growth, which again, I'll do the arithmetic for you, was basically doubling between 18 and 21. A lot of that is probably driven by affiliate, actually. If you look at research done by companies like Maverick, they'll point out that for most influencers, affiliate accounts for about 10% of their revenue. I expect that number to go up in years to come, but the bottom line, again, is that influencer ad spending, in terms of its growth, far outpaces what you see in affiliate in particular. So the bottom line here is that affiliate is still growing very healthily. 46% growth over a 3-year period is nothing to sneeze at. The pandemic obviously aided it considerably, and the kind of looming economic instability, I think, is likely to drive further healthy growth. But again, referring to the charts I showed you just a moment ago, other digital channels are growing even faster. This is something that is partly aided by the fact that some of that spending is concentrated in enormous companies. Amazon dominates the retail media ad spending landscape. If you include Amazon and Walmart, what the remaining every other company in the retail media business accounts for about 15% of retail media ad spending. Those balances are going to shift over time, but right now it's a space that's dominated by a handful of companies. But the reality too, and this gets to the fact that this could be an opportunity, is that the motivating factor behind this spending fundamentally is that advertisers understand that e-commerce activity is skyrocketing. More and more of our time and energy is concentrated in online activity, and marketers are growing more and more interested in driving measurable digital outcomes. And everybody in this room knows that that's something that affiliate marketing can and should do very well. So the kind of growth of these other channels, in my opinion, portends a lot of positive progress and opportunity for affiliate in general. So now that I've kind of given you an overview of numbers, we're going to kind of look under the hood, and we'll talk about affiliate marketing's defining characteristics. I'm going to plow through about 6 things here before getting into some more trend-focused stuff. So the first thing to note here is that this is, again, not super surprising to folks in this room, but affiliate marketing is a retail-dominated space. These, again, are PMA numbers from their 2021 report. That's a big slice that retail gets. It's possible that it could and should be a little bit smaller, that financial institutions should have a bigger slice. I spoke with their executive director about this because if you look at their 2018 numbers, you see that financial accounted for about 1/3 of the pie. The reason that this is smaller, or one of the reasons it's smaller, is sort of a quirk in how long it can take for commissions to get paid out for financial institution deals. But the reality is that this is a heavily retail-oriented space. Just to quickly touch on the others, travel is 5%. It was slightly bigger the last time that they looked at it. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand why that number is smaller. But it seems like it's going to sort of rebound as people get more and more comfortable getting on airplanes, leaving their homes, et cetera, et cetera. Second thing, affiliate accounts, generally speaking, for a small share of the revenue being driven for the advertisers. This is data gathered from Impact. I'm sure everybody in this room knows what Impact is. And I'll do the arithmetic for you. About 27% of the respondents say that affiliate accounts for 10% of their revenues or less. Another fifth say it accounts for between 11 and 20%. And this is, I think, pretty unsurprising and makes a lot of sense for an industry that's, about $10 billion in size, and for many of the participants is very, very heavily reliant on kind of bottom funnel spending. Most brands don't want to be too reliant on any one channel. Most brands don't want to be too reliant on bottom funnel activity. There is one number on here that I do want to call out because I'm going to return to it, and that's the bottom number. For those of you who can't read it, it says that 28% of the respondents don't know or don't measure how much revenue affiliate marketing drives for them. And I would say that for a business whose sole sales pitch, or not sole, but whose principal sales pitch is ROAS, it seems pretty weird that nearly 1/3 of the respondents don't know how much money affiliates driving for their businesses. Third, it's a relationships-based business. This, again, from the same Impact survey, you see more than 1/3 of the respondents are saying that they work with fewer than 50 partners when it comes to partnership or affiliate marketing. Another fifth say it's between 51 and 100, so bottom line is more than half of respondents work with, I would say a small and manageable number of partners. And this, again, I think is pretty intuitive, right? I mean, a good affiliate business is one where there's a lot of synergy, there's a lot of trust, there's a lot of communication. And those 3 things are hard to find, and they're certainly hard to build at scale. And so this, to me, feels like the kind of balance that is likely to maintain or not change drastically in the years to come. Item number 4, still a pretty seasonal business. So this is data that I gathered from Apptopia. This is just kind of a look at download numbers for a handful of mobile apps. And if you look at it, you see that basically all of the lines hop, starting at the 10, 20, 20 number, and that's Q4. That's when everybody starts thinking about deals, starts thinking about holiday shopping. And so even though affiliate, like all advertising channels, aspires to be a kind of 24/7, 365, always-on thing, it still requires people to convert, and most people do most of their shopping in the fourth quarter. Now we're going to the last two things are going to be, again, based on PMA data, and it's just kind of looking at where advertisers' spending is concentrated. Affiliate is a very diffuse channel. There's lots of different ways you can spend your money if you're an advertiser. And over the last several years, there's been a lot of chatter in the affiliate ecosystem about the promise of content, the promise of influencers, getting past the coupon, moving away from kind of pure bottom funnel stuff. So again, we're going to return to the Tide Pods and the J.R. Smith and LeBron years, and you find that coupon, cashback, loyalty, rewards, all the publishers that kind of fit into this category comprise about 40% of the spending. We fast forward to the Chuji years and the people making fun of the stuck boat, and their share of the market actually grew. We're now talking about them accounting for more than half of the spending of the channel. And again, when you're talking about some of this spending coming on the heels of a global pandemic and a lot of people maybe losing their jobs or feeling a lot of instability and insecurity, it's natural that people would spend there. And above and beyond that, if you're an advertiser and you're experiencing profound instability, you're likely to go to partners you know are going to deliver results. You're going to go to where you're spending money already and double down there. So I think that is largely what comes out of these numbers in my own estimation. I'm sure a couple of you are looking at this and going, these are clearly from pie charts. Why aren't there just two pies on the screen? And the reason is that the PMA did not normalize the categories from period to period. So in 2018, there was a lot of interest in bloggers, which, in 2022, less important, I would say, or thought of in different contexts. But finally, to round things off, when you compare the two reports and the sort of where the spending is concentrated, you do find some interesting green shoots. So in 2018, social, no kind of elaboration of what that meant, accounted for 1% of the spending. Sub-networks accounted for 5%. Move forward to 2021, and they have now revised their description to have it say social influencer and creator, and that accounts for 5%. This, I think, is very important, and we'll kind of get into the ramifications of that more in the next section. Sub-networks has now jumped up to 12%. And I highlight this partly to say, too, that I think that number tells you something more about the idea that social and influencer might actually be bigger than this. You think about LTK being a sub-network, and they basically are working mostly with influencers, and so influencers much more important. And then you have a category that the PMA describes as tech solutions. So this includes everything from BNPL to things like Upsell It and RevLifter. Do you guys know what those things are? I see a lot of nodding. We'll talk about those a little bit. And just as a kind of snapshot of what's going on in the margins of the business, I think it's very interesting because what we're looking at here is both signs that things like content and influencers and more kind of mid-funnel places to spend your money are getting some traction. They have some promise. They have some purchase within this space. But then you look at things like, again, RevLifter and Upsell It, and those are as bottom funnel as it possibly gets. I mean, the whole point is to kind of shove somebody over the finish line and get a sale done. And so basically, we have continued innovation at the bottom of the funnel. We have a little bit of traction in the middle of the funnel. And so the question then becomes, where is this all going? Where is the industry going? Is it just going to be stuck at the bottom, kind of purely at point of sale type stuff? Is it going to move more in the direction of content and lifestyle? Is it going to make itself more part of the consumer journey, or validate that it is part of the consumer journey? I threw this quote up because Matt is very smart and thinks about this space I think in a very clear and very interesting way. But the reason I put this up here too is because it sort of frames it as an either or. And I think that what we're really looking at is kind of a yes and. Both the bottom funnel and the middle of the funnel are going to grow. So with that in mind, where's the future growth going to come from? What's going to happen next? So a lot of it is going to sort of depend on what happens within the channel. But to what I was saying at the top of my talk, a lot of it is going to be dependent on macroeconomic stuff too. And so I start with the fact that we are just a few months removed from the US government pointing out that that we hit a 40-year high in inflation in this country. As of August, that number is about 0.1% off that high. And Americans are tightening their belts. Consumer spending is starting to change. And US News and World Report started to look basically at what does this mean for how consumers behave? What do they do? And you're already starting to see significant uptick in people going to coupons, going to savings opportunities. So we got 58% of Americans look for coupons at least once a week. More than half of them follow at least one coupon-focused blog or social account. Some additional numbers here, 76% of the respondents to this survey look for digital coupons when they buy groceries. 25% look for coupons on a monthly basis. 44% use coupon sites, apps, or extensions regularly. So you take all of this together with the fact that, in my estimation, we're at the beginning of kind of economic instability, not at the end of it. And this creates a big opportunity for, another affiliate grounded brand or publisher to kind of win more purchase and kind of cachet culturally. We've already kind of seen this happen, right? I mean, to me, the biggest proof point of this happening is what happened with buy now, pay later. So buy now, pay later has basically turned from a thing that didn't exist into a very important part of social spending. I have Patricia Morange's, this is something that she told me when I was assembling my report, and I thought it really kind of encapsulated what a big grower it's been within this space in the last couple of years. And the reason it's been a big grower in affiliate is because it's gone mainstream as a consumer behavior, and it's happened really quickly. So the Ascent, which is a kind of research firm that's owned by Motley Fool, looked at this a couple of months ago, and they found that half of Americans have used a BNPL service already. And another 14% are going to try one within the next year. And so the reason this matters is A, because it shows that BNPL's health, I think, right now is going to be assured and is going to persist. But there's also, we have to remember that the kind of role that BNPL plays in digital consumers' lives is still really coming into focus, and it's, I think, necessarily going to change quite a bit. And the reason that I say that is that all of the big boys in this space, Affirm and Klarna and Afterpay, are all either not profitable or not profitable to the satisfaction or the degree that their owners and investors would like. And so what do unprofitable companies do? They expand their services. They change what they offer to consumers. And so the prospect of this making affiliate a bigger dimension in the services they offer, I think is quite high. Next, we have social commerce, which I've sort of tagged a couple times here and there. This, again, should not come as a surprise based on the charts I've been showing you guys for the last however long I've been up here. But you see here just very, very strong growth projected over the next several years. To give you some added context, in 2019, the space was worth about $19 billion. So this is just up and to the right type stuff going on here. And I think, too, that as this continues to grow, this is good for influencers, but there's lots of opportunity for other, just for this to continue as social kind of continues to grow. You think about Gen Z and Gen Alpha going to TikTok instead of Google when they start their searches. This, I think, portends very positively for the affiliate space. One thing I will say, though, while we're on the topic of influencers, is there's kind of a strange thing happening when it comes to consumers and buying things that they recommend. This is data that was gathered by Civic Science, again, about 6 months ago, and they found that 11% of consumers, of social media users have bought something in the past 6 months because an influencer recommended it, which is good. That means people are comfortable and okay with buying stuff from influencers, but less than 5% of social media users say that they trust influencers. Now, you have to take that with a bit of a grain of salt. I mean, I wouldn't trust the guy that sold me the car that I drive with anything at all, but I still bought the car. And so it's possible that this isn't the giant red flag that it could be, but I think that it's going to be very important to watch and monitor if and how that number moves over the next few years when you think about the potential that influencers have for the affiliate ecosystem. Just to sort of quickly, while we're talking about social, just plow through some of the sort of changes and headlines that have happened with them over the last few years as regards affiliates. So Instagram abandons its affiliate tagging program a few weeks ago now, but they're maintaining their creator marketplace. YouTube is testing a product tagging feature with some creators. They're paying them currently. They're not doing commissions. But YouTube also is sort of one of the places that naturalized people to the concept of buying stuff that was available via affiliate links in the comments or bottoms of videos. And then TikTok, everyone I'm sure here is very aware of what TikTok is doing, has its own affiliate tagging program, but they've also sort of started to rethink how much importance they want to place on shopping. And then the final thing that I want to tag here is retail media. So again, growing like a weed, very, very important. And the reason that I bring this up is that I think that as retailers start to pour more money into trying to enhance the shopping experiences available on their own sites, this is going to sort of change their needs for content, for trusted voices, for maybe product advocates. You think about something like Amazon's on-site associates, which has been on a bit of a roller coaster, but has turned into a really significant source of income for lots of content publishers. And I think it's not a stretch to imagine that lots of different retail media purveyors could start trying something similar. A lot of them have had conversations with different publishers about the prospect of including their content on their O&Os. Do I think that all of the retailers that offer RMNs could become as big as Amazon? No. Do I think that they could all become as big as on-site associates? No. But I think that overall, at a kind of 10,000-foot level, the need that these retailers and their RMNs are going to have for kind of content and experience on their O&Os is a potentially very interesting trend to watch within this industry. And then finally, just as another trend, we're just seeing the industry's thinking about affiliates starting to change. Instead of just people coming in just for coupons or just coming in to, move inventory off of their warehouse shelves, people are thinking about it in a much more open-ended kind of way. And so it's important to sort of see where that open-endedness and open-mindedness gets everybody. But before any of that really takes off or really takes root, we have to address the reality that this is an industry that still struggles with measurement. So I want to kind of return to that slide that I put up a moment ago. And really one of the problems with this industry is that there are challenges with kind of integrating and incorporating the metrics that are provided by some of its purveyors with the metrics that a lot of the advertisers are used to using. So this is a quote from Kristen Pulver, who was one of the many agency folks I spoke to in writing my report. And this, I think, again, is sort of something that is going to have to be resolved over the coming years if all of the kind of promise in this channel is going to be realized. So just wanted to, kind of flag that as a thing to be aware of as we think about what's going to happen in the future. So with that, I will take your questions, I guess, if there are any. I have stunned you all into silence. Fantastic.
You mentioned TikTok. Any insights on Twitch or
So the question was, do I have any insights into sort of Twitch and gamers as an affiliate source?
As opposed to TikTok and kind of lifestyle influencers.
So sort of whether gamers are emerging as a sort of trusted I think you're seeing, examples of that starting to take root, but if you look to just generally at the kind of population that is watching Twitch, it's still very niche. And so its prospects for, kind of mainstream purchase and cachet, it's premature, I would say, to sort of say anything about that definitively, but you're seeing some traction with gamers talking to gamers about gaming things, as you might expect.
We have some virtual questions too, Max. The first one is, economic news seems to be more dire by the day, and not just in the US. What would your top 3 reasons be to convince an executive that now would be the time to either engage affiliate or increase budget in the channel?
Well, I think the main piece there is just how quickly we are already seeing signs that consumers are becoming more cost conscious, right? I mean, I think that basically it's pretty inarguable that affiliate can help win people over and get them to convert. If a 10% or 15% off can move the needle, then it's going to do that. I think that's probably the key piece, is just that the price sensitivity and kind of worry that is already palpable in how consumers are behaving is an opportunity that should be seized upon, basically, especially if you're in the affiliate channel.
Okay, great. I have another one. Where do you see the affiliate channel, namely advancements in affiliate technology, in 5 years?
Interesting. So I think that things like Upsell It and RevLifter potentially have a lot of opportunity in front of them. The fact that a lot of those technologies can be deployed with just JavaScript, so you're not having to rope in tons of decision makers, tons of dev people to potentially give them a try, is typically a recipe for growth and for acceleration. I wonder a little bit about how mainstream they will get. I think there are plenty of brands too that are just not going to want to involve that kind of product in their user experience. But to me, I see that them having a nice couple of years moving forward. All right. Well, so thank you all very much for all the time. That right there is a QR code. If you would like a copy of the report that I put out a couple of weeks ago, you are more than welcome to have it. It is just waiting for you at the other end of that code. I see a couple of you pulling your phones out, and that means a lot. Thank you all very much for the time. It's good talking to you.